Hi, good evening, and welcome to this video on measuring the hotness of some chili flakes. So I'm just going to show you that I've got a Food Sense Generation 4 in front of me. I will be doing a live, or at least a live recorded demonstration shortly using the chili sensor. And the samples I will be measuring are these chili flakes here, or at least, yeah, these chili flakes here. That said, let me go forward with the let's say the demo a little bit more. So this is what we'll be measuring this evening, and I will share my screen with you now. So this is what we'll be doing. I've got everything out, let's say, out in front of me. This is the Food Sense Generation 4. I just need to go back a little bit. I did have a little go. I realized I didn't have a mortar and pestle, you know, one of these things for sort of grinding up pieces, because I was a bit worried that this was a bit chunky and I was going to have a problem extracting the capsaicin. But as it is, I think this is so rich in capsaicin, I actually think I can just extract it. So I did have a little go at grinding it up, but I was, to be frank, unsuccessful. So I just used, essentially, the little grinding I was able to do is really negligible, so I just used them as is, let's say. With that said, I did weigh out 0.1 grams of the chili flakes, and I did just wanted to make a note, actually, and I think I then failed to say this bit, but this kind of chili flake is very heterogeneous. You know, you've got to be really not careful, but you know, you may have to make multiple samples of something like this, because you can't guarantee, and I may just change to a different, you can't guarantee that the capsaicin, you know, in all of this is evenly distributed. It's just not. But that said, you know, so it's an observation. I mean, I've mentally noted it, and I'll go ahead with the presentation now. What I did do was dilute it in 0.9 milliliters of this buffer. So I've got this buffer here now. I might just change screens for a second. So with the Food Sense Generation 4, we do give buffer. There's 500 mils here. In total, this evening, I've used 1.98 mils, so I can do hundreds of tests with this 500 mils of buffer. But it is important to note, and actually I've got that sample here. So let's just talk about this sample again. I weighed out 0.1 grams of these flakes, and I diluted it with 0.9 mils of buffer. Now I did do that quite accurately because I have, I'll just reach behind me, yeah, because I have scientific pipettes. So I was able to do this accurately, because any kind of error there, and I'll make let's say make an error in the final reading. So what I now plan to do is, I'll just change screens again. I'm going to do something that doesn't work, but the reason I'm going to do it is, well, it'll become evident now. When I say it doesn't work, I'm going to take, now I've done a 1 in 10, let's say, dilution of these chili flakes. Here's the chili flakes now. I'm just going to vortex it really quickly, just to kind of get everything. Vortexes, by the way, you can get them off Amazon, get them online. They're only about $50, so not super expensive. Right. Now, the app that I'm using to run this assay is really intelligent. Well, really intelligent, it's too strong a word for it, but it's pretty smart. And I just want to show you that this is it's not super strong chili flakes, but I've done what it's called a 1 in 10 dilution, and I will run the app. I probably should go a bit quicker than I am, so I'm just going to change the name that I'm using here. 1 in 10, I'll call it test, something like 2, just very quickly, and then I will go to assay. I'll choose the 1 in 10 dilution, and I'll start the measurement. Now the reason I'm doing this is because the Scoville Heat Unit scale, or the Scoville scale, is kind of 0 to 16 million. It's a ridiculously large scale. So you can understand that there's so many different concentrations of products within that, that in fact by using dilution we can then take care of the entire scale. So we can use 1 in 10, 1 in 100, 1 in 1000, 1 in 10,000, depending on how hot, let's say, that actual product was. And I realized there was something I should have done. All right, so now, and I've what I want to show you just very quickly is that it's come back with, I wouldn't call this an error. I want to tell you exactly what it is, but I'm also going online as well because I just want to do something online as well. But let me just change my screen for a second for you to show you what it's saying. I did this deliberately because let's say I don't know how hot this is. There's no point in measuring it if I don't know if I know how hot it is. But let's say I don't know how hot it is, so I don't actually know how hot it is. What I did is I prepared that 1 in 10 dilution, and it's come back and said too high, dilute more, and upload complete. So what's happened here? I've done a 1 in 10 dilution, but actually there's so much capsaicin in this product that the app has essentially looked at the data and said, okay, this is too concentrated, so I want you to actually do a further dilution. So what I've done is, and I'll have some slides on this, is I actually took 100 microliters of this, put it in here, and added another 900 microliters. So that actually made that a 1 in 100 dilution. So this is 1 in 10, and then I've taken a sample of that and diluted it down to 1 in 100. And now I'll talk about that. But before I do that, I'm just going online because I said that the app is quite smart. It said too high, dilute more, and upload complete. So I'm just going to share my screen with you real quick. And I will share it here. Because upload complete meant something that, in fact, you do not have to use this part of it, but the system is actually automatically saving data. And so if I ever need to troubleshoot, and I immediately see it here, I can see how intense this signal is. It's off the scale. Right, so that's okay because it's telling me something that the app already told me. But what I really like about FoodSense Generation 4 is what we're looking at here is the raw signal for capsaicin. You don't have to interpret it. I'm just showing you that, in fact, we collect all of the data. But what I'm going to do now is stop sharing. I'm going to take my more diluted sample and we'll carry on with the next test. So that was, let's say, test number 1. I'll take out the chili sensor here. I'll put in a new chili sensor. So let me do that. It's very easy to put the chili sensors in. Click that shut. I will get myself, I realize I should have a, again, I only need 50 microliters of sample. So I might just vortex this just real quick, just to get it all homogeneous. Right, I'll get the app ready. I'm just going to give the a name. I'll call it test 4. Right, and then I'll go to assay. This will be 1 in 100, and then I'm just going to put the sample on now. So let me do that. Alright, sample on, start measurement, and off it goes. And now you've got this kind of progress bar, and there's also a bit of a flashing light on the front of the instrument as well. You can just about see my finger flashing. There's a really nice sort of status of instrument light here, and it changes different colors, like blue for Bluetooth connection, white I'm running an assay, green assay complete, and data uploaded. So it's a pretty user-friendly little device, and it does give rapid answers, and it's quite nice because you don't have to over prepare the samples. You know, the samples are fairly quick to do. And now it's come back with a I'll show it as well. Let me just go to here. It's come back with a answer of, I think I'm just about reading that myself, 83,493. So it's come back with a Scoville Heat Unit of 83,493, and it says upload complete. Now I'll go back to the online. So upload complete means it just sent the data to the cloud. I really like this feature because that was the old data when it advised me that actually I was too concentrated. So then I'll just go to here. So you can, now the signal is kind of within scale. Got a lovely big signal. So this is quite hot, and I can see my Scoville Heat Unit is 83,493. So essentially I'm pleased with that. So let me just do a quick summary of what I've done, let's say done so far. We have taken 0.1 grams of, let's say, an unknown chili flake. But in fact, it is a bird's eye. Let me just have a quick look. It's a bird's eye chili flake. So I knew it was, fairly hot. The history on this is a little unknown to me. But I knew it was fairly hot. I prepared 1 in 10. I knew that wasn't going to be enough, but I prepared it and I tested it, and you saw me test it, and it said, actually, this is concentration of capsaicin is too much. You need to dilute it, and it uploaded the data. And when I looked at the data, I could see it would kind of gone off the scale. So I took this, I vortexed it again. I took 100 microliters of this and diluted that with 900 microliters of the buffer. And I got to this sample, that was the buffer. Again, it comes with a unit. So in total, you can understand that I've actually only used 1.98 milliliters of buffer, and we give 500 milliliters of buffer. So you can get hundreds of tests done. So let me just do a kind of a quick summary and then we finally got to the result of about 83,000 Scoville Heat Units. Let me just sort of wrap that up then. So we tested that sample when it was 1 in 10 dilution, and we found it was too hot. I prepared a much more diluted solution. I put that on there, and that's when we got to the 83,000 Scoville Heat Units. So you can see that it does work with, let's say, it definitely works with real world samples, including things like bird's eye chili flakes. If you've got any questions, bird's eye chili flakes, if you've got any questions about food sense generation 4, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, thanks very much.